Welcome everyone, Cliff from Advanced Diagnostics. I have something that I think you're going to find very helpful in regards to Hyundai Kia keyed ignitions that are chipped. Now, this is going to be very beneficial to those of you that are Canadian locksmiths. In other words, you're working in that environment where mandated by law, your vehicles are chipped. It'll also be helpful for those of you that are U.S. locksmiths from the standpoint that even though the vast majority of these vehicles will not be transponder based, there will be a handful that are chipped and you will most likely run into them over the course of time. Now, what I'm referring to is what you're looking at on the screen. And I know you're probably cringing already, but I'm asking you to put jumper cables on these vehicles. Now, I know none of us want to do that because it's extra work, let's face it, but it'll save you on the back end, and I'll explain why. It's a little known fact that on these vehicles, once you program in your key, at the very end, if you go to crank that vehicle and it has a weak crank, in other words, it doesn't turn over right away, it's going to boot your key out of programming. You're going to have to go back in and reprogram that key. Now, if you're not aware of this pattern, you may keep repeating it, and that's going to become very perplexing because you're not going to understand why that key is not staying programmed. And it's because of the weak crank. So do yourself a favor, put the jumper cables on there. So time spent will be time well spent because you can avoid having your key kicked out. And I would even advocate leaving those jumper cables on there for a good 5 to 10 minutes after you have programmed in the key before you even test your key. That way you ensure that you get a good crank because it only has to catch once. Once the key's in there, it will stay in there. You won't have any worries. So I hope you found this information helpful and that you embrace it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.